Life doesn't pause when you're sick. Vaccines against respiratory illnesses can help protect you and give you more playtime with your best friend. Depending on age and health status, vaccinations for flu, COVID-19, RSV, or pneumococcal infection may be recommended. Vaccines can help keep you from having a rough time. Learn more at cveep.org/vaccines-protect. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and CVEEP, fighting infectious respiratory disease.
There's an idea that many people accept without questioning it. The idea that something in you needs repairing, that your life is a problem to solve, and you must constantly improve in order to be worthy, to be the best version of yourself. This is a lie, the self-development lie. I'm gonna tell you why. Welcome to Unbox the podcast. I'm Sahar Palmer, and today we're having a grounded, honest conversation about why so many people feel exhausted from trying to become someone they're not, and why the real work isn't to fix yourself, but to understand it, what I refer to as how you operate and how to modulate. Let's be clear from the start. People do not need fixing. People need more clarity. They need understanding. And very often, what they truly need is modulation or fine-tuning. This is how living systems work. They adjust, they adapt, as they interact, they realign. Nothing dramatic. There is no need to place labels on conditions that define who you are, or to seek a certain modality or a technique over another. No collapse, just natural recalibration, because change is the process of growth. The problem is that self-development has turned into a global performance. Everywhere you look, there's pressure to upgrade yourself, to do more, to become more, to optimize every part of your existence. And if you pause, even for a moment, you feel as though you're falling behind, as though your worth depends on continuous improvements. What's worse is such claims as only this can fix you, or only my way, when what you need to hear is you've got this, you can do it. There is also a phrase that captures this pressure perfectly. Become the best version of yourself. People repeat it as if it were wisdom. Yet the moment you hear it, you also hear its shadow. That who you are today is somehow inadequate. That you must strive, compare, and perfect yourself before you can feel settled within your own life. For me, this has always been a misguided idea. I don't use such language in my work because it conditions your mind to believe you're inadequate and that you can't do it on your own. My mentoring is not about creating versions of yourself. It's about bringing all of you back to yourself. The real you. Your true identity doesn't need to be reinvented. What it needs is understanding, alignment, and the space to lead without noise, guilt, or contrived performance. I came across an article recently by a psychologist who said that he had become tired of self-development, tired of the endless need to correct himself, tired of turning life into a project. And it struck me because this is exactly what I see in my mentoring work. People who believe that they must keep upgrading themselves in order to feel at peace. I worry when a client tells me that she's more self-aware than her husband, for example, because she regularly goes on retreats while he never joins her nor meditates. The truth is simpler. What needs support is your awareness to align, not your identity. You do not need to become someone else. You need to understand why you drifted from yourself in the first place. And this will show you how to get back to it. This is where my BEMA mechanism becomes an invaluable methodology. Body, emotions, mind, and accountability. These four dimensions of change reveal the real picture of what's going on, not the imagined flows, not the mental neurological loops that we go around, not the surface goals, the real internal alignment that needs to be in place for you to experience growth and flow. Let us start with the body. Your body is often the first place where misalignment appears. Fatigue, tension, heaviness, restlessness, aches, and pains. These sensations are not signs of failure, they are feedback. Your body is telling you something about your story, about your pace, about where you are forcing yourself to be someone you're not. Then we move to emotions. When emotions are not understood, they become stories. And when stories are repeated, they become identities. A simple feeling of not being seen can, over time, turn into a belief that you must keep improving in order to be valued. This belief then shapes your behavior, and behavior becomes a lifestyle or character. But it all began with an emotion that was never decoded. Let's talk about the mind next. The mind loves structure and goals, but the mind also loves comparison. It measures your life against others and creates pressure to achieve, to perform, and to perfect. Many people become stuck not because their mind is weak, but because it's too loud to hear the subtle truth underneath. It follows the crowd instead of thinking on its own. And then we have accountability. This is not about self criticism. It is the moment you recognize your patterns and make grounded decisions. Accountability brings you back to yourself. It empowers you because it allows you to choose what aligns with you rather than what is being imposed upon you. Let me offer you a placeholder to fill with a real client example. A client once told me that she had spent years taking courses, attending retreats, and reading every new book on personal growth. Yet she felt more lost than ever. When we worked together through the BEMA methodology, it became clear that she didn't need transformation, she didn't need more information, she needed modulation. She needed to stop seeking and to start listening to her inner voice. Her life didn't require a rebuild, it required alignment. And once we addressed the emotional and mental distortions, everything softened. Everything started falling in the right place. She didn't collapse, she adjusted, and the adjustment was enough. This is the essence of my life mentoring. I guide you so that you can make real changes without extended downtime. You don't need to pause your life to grow. You don't need to withdraw, collapse, or reinvent yourself. With clarity and the right fine tuning in your four dimensions body, emotions, mind, and accountability shifts take place in a natural and integrated way. Growth becomes part of your daily rhythm, not an interruption to it. Let's take a moment to talk about guilt. Many people feel guilty for not finishing books, not meditating correctly, not waking up at the perfect hour, not achieving fast enough. This guilt doesn't come from your inner wisdom. It comes from comparison and cultural pressure. It is the guilt that keeps people stuck in a cycle of self correction that leads nowhere. Real growth has nothing to do with appearances. Real growth happens in quiet, internal integration. It is subtle, it is intimate, it is personal, and it cannot be measured by how many courses you attended or how many techniques you collected. Quick fixes have their place, but they're never the permanent solution. If our conversation is resonating with you, please follow or subscribe to Unbox the podcast on your platform. It helps these conversations reach those who truly need it. Subscriptions matter more than you realize. So thank you for your support. Let's continue. When you stop fixing yourself, you create space to hear your intention, your intuition clearly. Intuition is part of your natural intelligence. It doesn't speak the language of pressure. It doesn't demand improvement. It reveals alignment. It nudges you back into yourself. It shows you where you have drifted and where you need to return. This is why people often feel more calm, centered, and decisive when they stop striving, because they stop overriding their intuitive signals. They stop drowning themselves in constant input. They stop forcing themselves into someone else's mold. As we bring this episode to a close, I want you to sit down with one idea. Growth is not dramatic. Growth is not performance. Growth is not a punishment for being human. Growth is your presence. Growth is a living process, a gentle recalibration, an ongoing dialogue between your body, your emotions, your mind, and your decisions. The self development lie tells you that you must keep fixing yourself. The truth is that you only need to understand yourself and how you operate. And once you do, the fine tuning becomes natural and sustainable. If today's episode helped you see your story with more clarity, please visit my website, saharhunaidi.com. You will find ebooks and tools and online courses that support real alignment without dramatic disruption. And if you would like a deeper mentoring, book a discovery session and complete the online assessment form. Together, we will identify the modulation you need to return back to your true self, your true rhythm. Please subscribe to Unbox the podcast so that you don't miss the next episode. Subscribing supports my work and keeps it visible. And remember, you can rewrite your story, reclaim your power. I'll see you next Tuesday.